Welcome to Building the Premier Accounting Firm, having a successful accounting, bookkeeping, and tax business. I'm Roger Connect, your host, and this show is dedicated to helping accounting professionals confidently and competently offer quality accounting services to get paid what they're worth. Each of the episodes is actually designed to give you the tips and tricks that you need in order to market your services effectively, sell them more confidently, onboard your clients with efficiency, and most importantly, provide quality services getting paid what you're worth. In order to do this, we encourage you to become an accountrepreneur and make the most of your business as you build your firm. Now, as an accounting professional, I'm sure there's a number of things that you would like to actually focus on as you work on your business. And so today's episode is going to actually cover a number of things that I believe you need to be doing at least on a yearly basis to assess your business and determine what is going well within the organization and, more importantly, where the opportunities lie. Now, myself, Roger Connect, I'm president of Universal Accounting Center, and for more than 20 years, I've actually worked with accounting professionals, helping them both start and build successful accounting businesses. In this process, I've gotten to know and interact with many of incredible people, CPAs, enrolled agents, accounting professionals, bookkeepers, tax preparers, many of who've actually decided to grow their business and become more engaged with their clients. And that is something that I would definitely encourage you to also consider doing. Now, as we actually begin today's session, one of the things that we're going to do in this episode is something that I think all of us need to find time to do more regularly. But I'm going to be speaking of what's called a State of the Union. The State of the Company is something that we do in our organization and something that I encourage all of our clients to do within their own businesses, at least on a yearly basis. And the State of the Company is literally a reflection on what's going on in the organization and what is planned for the future. And I'm going to be sharing with you today some things that you can write down and actually use as an agenda to help you conduct this very same thing within your own company. Now, whether you're an individual, solo entrepreneur running your company alone, or you're actually working with a staff of individuals, this is perfect for you to actually sit back and reflect and, more importantly, document so that you can effectively go out there and offer these or do this meeting, if you will, in an effective way. So I'm going to share with you what we do and kind of tailor this as to what we're actually doing in our company and help you share insights of what I've seen some of our clients do in their own. So first of all, let me just begin by sharing that many, many years ago, the previous president of the company, Alan Bostrom, started doing what was called the State of the Company. And it's similar to what you would expect of like a State of the Union within a government, where the president of the organization simply outlines what's going on, what's some of the challenges that are being faced, what are some of the things that need to be focused or emphasized in the coming year. And what we found is when we did this as a company, it really engaged the employees to feel like they were part of something bigger than themselves. And for the employees, it gave them a bigger picture of what is actually happening. I distinctly remember a specific meeting that we had where we seemed to be doing very well as an organization with a lot of sales and a lot of growth. And everyone was just curious about how the company was doing as its bottom line. And for this, we actually had an education moment where the president, Alan, brought in a very large cookie. And as he went through and explained that this company was the net revenue, he then illustrated through chopping off chunks and handing them out to the group that ultimately at the end, there was very, very left after all the expenses were taken care of that really made up the net income of the company. And it was very educational for the members of the company to literally see where all the expenses were, what were the costs of being in business, everything from rent to telephone expenses to payroll. All those chunks were obviously aha moments for everyone. So we've, for years now in our own company, been doing this. I'm actually, as I'm preparing and doing this for you as an episode and preparing to do this for our company here in the coming weeks, and at the same time have been doing this with a number of our clients, the business owners, for their own companies. And so here's essentially what I'd like to do. And I'm going to encourage you to get out a pen and paper and take some notes as to what makes up the outline of essentially a State of the Company address that you would prepare and present to your team. Now, again, for those of you who are solo entrepreneurs and it's just yourself, I think you still need to find time to go through this exercise to merely document the past year and plan for the new year. For those of us who have employees and such, this is something where for us, we have a potluck. We bring everyone in. I have a PowerPoint presentation, and we, with the potluck, essentially have everyone bring in appetizers. We furnish the primary food item, and with that, we have a social event and then go into this meeting. So let me share with you the agenda. The first thing that I want you to write down is the word challenges. It's here that we want to take the time to recap some of the things that came up during the year that were a challenge for the company, things that were unexpected, things that caught us off guard, things that we had to work through, things that we experienced that were frustrating and at times involved maybe working longer hours and such. It's important to document these because it's here where we're going to actually in the future years be able to look back and see where we grew and what things needed to change. Now, with the challenges, one of the things that I would encourage you to do is to speak with your staff and ask for their input, their suggestions. What did they feel were some of the challenges that the company faced, or maybe they faced in their departments or individually? And as they share these with you, you're going to be able to put together a compilation of what you felt were some of the individual, departmental, and company challenges that were faced. Now, I think all of us would agree there were some surprises in this past year, things that we didn't necessarily see and really caught a lot of people off guard. But it's in those challenges that we're able to rise to the occasion and really do things that we may have not thought possible. So that brings us to the next section of the state of the company, and it's literally what went well. And we want to document the successes. And these, again, can be very individual, things that individuals had. It could be from children being born. It could be from new growth within the company, such as trainings. But at a company level, it could be launching of a new product line, having a new line item that we're now using to generate revenue within the company. Perhaps it's a new customer or client that we acquired. Maybe it's something like a new employee being hired into the organization. So what are the successes that we can celebrate? And in this, acknowledge some of the things that we were able to achieve in the year. It's very important in this part that we also take a moment to really give some recognition to individuals and what they've brought to the organization, helping point out how they've made the company better, how they've made a difference, how they are integral to the success of the organization. As you do this and define what went well in the company, again, it's nice to look at this individually, departmentally, and company-wide. But one of the things that I want you to focus on as president of the organization is really what is it that maybe made the company this year different than the previous year? How are things now better this past year? What has changed? And that's what we're looking for. And that brings us to the next section, which is what's new. Now that's very important because what we want to do is we want to emphasize here are the things that we didn't plan for, but yet are now different and new. Now, the next part of this is, I think, what everyone gets excited about. Everyone so far lived what you're sharing. They experienced the challenges. They went obviously through the successes, what was accomplished in the company. They can identify what's new that was actually launched or created in this past year. But what they want to hear at this point in the meeting is literally what is new, or what is planned rather. And so this next section is really your vision as president of the company. What we want to do is we want you to now take some time to really explore what is going to change in the coming year. What, as a leader, do you see as being necessary that they consider? And one of the things that I really want to encourage you to consider is really pushing yourself. Now, there are a number of areas of the company that you can address that I think people as employees want to hear. And so I'm going to give you a few of the areas that we really focus on when we're talking about the plans for the coming year. And the first happens to be in marketing and sales. What are some new strategies, new tests, new markets that we're going to go into to try and find new customers? What can we share that we're doing to actually find new ways to grow the business? Now, one of the things that might be helpful here is sharing how they can contribute and what they can do to actually help in this process. The next thing is any new product or service that you're looking at launching in the coming year to generate additional revenue. What's a new product line that didn't exist before that you're going to be using to generate revenue in the new year. And it's in this that we're looking for new products, new services. Just what have we tested or what do we want to test moving into the new year that could actually be a great addition to our revenue stream? The third is in the production area of the organization. What are some of the new software, tools, systems, trainings that we could be looking forward to help systematize, help the processes in the organization, help work more efficiently? What are some of the things we're going to streamline? What are we going to change about the customer experience? What are we going to change about the workflow? All of these things are basically how do we take what we're doing and make it better? And these plans are ones that you're obviously able to share and communicate as to here's what everyone's going to experience or what they can expect in the new year. It's very important that as you've gone through this agenda of sharing and kind of capturing, documenting the challenges that were faced, you are outlining what went well and giving the accolades where they're deserved for the people that actually contributed to the successes in the organization. You're able to define how we're different or better because of the past year and what's new in the organization because of it. But now you're able to get them excited about the plans for the future, what it is that they can look forward to and anticipate, what it is that's going to be different and new. And then this brings me to the last point, which are the goals, the milestones. What are the dates of certain things that are on the horizon? What are some of the things that they can plan on? What are some of the goals, production, that they need to work towards and meet so that you can actually achieve the various goals that you're outlining? The goals section, this last part, is really where you're going to now get their buy-in. It's individually what they can do to help achieve these goals that you've defined as part of the plans for the company. It's here that what you're going to be doing is defining how each person is integral to the success of the organization and what's going to be expected of them in the new year. And the more clear you can be as you go through this process of literally telling them what it is that we're going to be doing in the new year and their role or part in it will help them see how they actually can now contribute and help with the company's growth. Now, one of the things that I'm looking for here when we do this and when I'm working with our clients is at the end of the meeting, we want everyone to not only feel great about having attended and more informed as to what's going to be happening in the new year and obviously can reflect back on the year and say, yeah, that's about right. But we're looking for their commitment and buy-in as to what's needed in the coming year to achieve the goals that are defined. So if at the end of the meeting, they feel a renewed sense of purpose, a sense of commitment, I'm here and I'm going to do certain things and this is my part in what the company does, then the meeting is a success. It's meant to leave them with optimism and a good perspective of what it is that they can look forward to in the coming year. And I can't stress enough the importance of their commitment and buy-in. At the end, if you've done your job well with this state of the company, they will see where the company is going to be changing, their role in that change, how they'll be able to contribute, and more importantly, you'll have their buy-in as to wanting to be a part of that. So as you're actually preparing your agenda, if you have a small enough organization and you can literally think through on an individual level what's going to be needed or expected of each person, that would be wonderful to share. Now, with some of our clients, we actually have clients that the organization is too large to break it down individually, but they can break it down by department. And doing so at least gives the department some purpose and objective, and everyone can see how they're going to be contributing to the success of the company. So whether you do this at a departmental level or you do it at an individual level, I really encourage you that after you've stated the plans for the company and what you're looking forward to implementing and doing differently in the new year, it's important that you literally take time to figure out then what these goals are, what everybody's going to be needing to do and accomplish, and if possible, by when with dates, so that they can have kind of a timeline of what they can expect to participate in. Now, with all this, let me just give you some tips and tricks. Most of the time, we in the company will do this at the end of the year, and it's a great way to then coordinate with the budgeting and forecast meetings that we're doing with the other team members in the company for the coming year, basically what's happening. And then before the end of the year, we share all of this so that we can start the new year with clarity and purpose. With other companies and some of our clients, they plan to do this in the first part of the year after the previous year has ended and they have the details, the numbers of what's happened. And then they basically meet to discuss, here's what we're doing in the new year. So this meeting has traditionally worked well in the fourth quarter or first quarter, primarily in December or January. But by no means am I suggesting that's the only time of the year that this can be done. Your state of the company truly is a time for you to meet as an organization, to, like I shared, we do a potluck, actually get together and socialize. So if you have a regular meeting that this can be a part of, that would be wonderful. But it's that time where you're able to reflect over the past year, plan for the new year, and communicate that to the employees so that they can see their part in this entire process. Now, it's in this meeting, whether it be at the end of the year or the first of the new year, that we oftentimes see that companies will hand out or include swag. They'll give out gifts to the employees and get them excited about the new year, giving them some company branded materials, whether it be a shirt or a pen or something to that effect. A lot of people like leaving the meeting with some swag. It's that last part of the buy-in where they're literally able to feel part of the organization and have something that they can wear with the company logo on it. So the swag I've found to be timely to hand out at this time. It's nice to introduce new looks. If you're doing a rebranding, this is a great time to bring in the new brand, the new logo, for example. I've seen product launches done in these meetings where they're announcing the release of something new and exciting, and it's now being made known to the company as to what the launch date to the customer and consumer will be. So there's great potential with this meeting if you want to leverage it well as to what you're doing. Honestly, from a leadership point of view, I have found in our company and working with clients that this has really kind of caused the presidents of company to really get on their A game, only because they do have to document and record and communicate this to the team. But more importantly, it stops the procrastination of launching new products and services. It stops the procrastination of doing new things because you've got to announce it all in this meeting and share some timelines. So I've literally seen, not only in our own organization, but other clients, this really force things to move forward at a more accelerated pace. And it's kind of exciting because it causes things to get done. So I encourage you, set a date for when your state of the company meeting will be. And in the state of the company, share these things as I've outlined and really get everybody engaged and committed as to the new year. The last thing I want to mention about this, and then I'll kind of recap it, is it's usually in this meeting that I've also seen bonuses awarded and handed out. This is at the end of the year, a lot of times when holiday bonuses are shared. At the first of the new year, it's a great way of doing kind of a profit sharing of saying, hey, we closed the year, we did well, and this is some of the profit sharing that's occurred. So whether it be kind of a holiday bonus, a profit sharing opportunity, just a way of celebrating and giving a bonus for everyone's hard work, giving out either gift cards or a bonus check or something, this has been a great way of doing the meeting. I don't know that this is necessarily something to really emphasize right now, but I think it's appropriate to say. Sometimes when business owners, presidents are determining how to calculate the bonus, there are various ways that I have found that have been effective, and business owners have appreciated these different ways of determining what the bonus can be. So let me just kind of end with this little insight, and you can consider it for what you'd like. The best thing I could suggest regarding bonuses is, first of all, just determine what the ultimate dollar amount is that the company is willing to give out to everyone. That ultimate dollar amount then needs to be decided as to how it's going to be divvied up or kind of handed out to everyone. But until you know what that large amount is, it's hard to kind of cut it up and give it to everybody out in pieces. So what we want to do is determine that large amount, what the company is willing to bonus everyone with. And then the question just simply becomes, well, how are we going to now distribute it? And there's a few ways to do it. One, you can just give it equally to all the employees. You can give basically part-time employees like a half value, and then the full-time employees a single value. So you count up your full-time employees, you've got 5 of them, you got 2 part-time people, so that's two halves that make six. You divide six into the total number that you had as a potential bonus, and everybody gets basically their equal share of it. So you've got six parts, and the two people that were part-time each get their halves. The other way to do this is you can basically take it and over the course of the year, take every month that everyone worked. So everybody that has been with the company the entire year, they count as 12. So if you had 5 people that worked 12 months, that would be 60 months. And then if you had people that started within the course of the year, somebody, let's say, started in June, so they worked 6 months of the year. So you've got 60 months for the 5 that worked 12 months each. You've got one person that came on at 6 months, so they're now 6 months. So that's 66 total months. You've got somebody that started 3 months towards the end of the year, so you're going to add 3 months to that. So that's 69 total months. Everyone gets their equal portion of it. So you divide the total dollar amount by 69, and then everybody gets their percent. So the 5 people that work 12 months, they get 12 times that dollar amount. The person that works 6 months gets 6 times that dollar amount, and the person that worked 3 months gets 3 times that dollar amount. That dollar amount being that total sum divided by the 69 total months, and that gives you what everybody gets per month that they worked with the company that year. So that's an easy way to do it. It kind of gives some tenure to it and gives some weight to it. The last way that you can do it is weight it towards people's contributions, and so that's based on tenure, based on years, not the months, but how long they've been working with the company. So it becomes a little bit more weighted. The person that's been employed with the company longest will get a larger amount than the person that's been with the company lesser. And so you can weight it that way. So those are just some suggestions on how to calculate bonuses that I've seen effective. And it helps the president who's calculating these feel that there's some equity as to how the dollar amounts were come up. I've seen it where in order to kind of round it out because of taxes, you involve payroll and you find out in order for a person to get, let's say, $1,000 bonus, we need to pay them $1,217 because there's $217 in taxes that's going to come out. And so I've seen that done. The other thing that I've also noticed is with regards to bonuses, there is too little that you can give someone. So let's assume somebody's been working with the company 2 months and they would theoretically get $100. Well, that might be, too little. So you've got to find a bottom threshold to simply say, okay, everyone's going to get at least $250, let's say. That way you're not giving a bonus and somebody's feeling like, well, that was kind of tiny, $25, that was tiny. You got to find some bottom threshold that everyone at least gets a certain dollar amount. But there's also a cap. And this is going to sound interesting, but with regards to bonuses, I found that you can give somebody, and I'm just throwing around numbers, let's assume you gave somebody a $2,000 bonus. And would you honestly, if you gave them $5,000, would they be twice as happy? If instead of giving them $2,000, you gave them $10,000, would they literally be 5 times as happy? There usually is a cap. Somebody is only so happy and gracious for a certain dollar amount. And so I've seen bonuses get capped at a certain dollar amount that no one in the organization got more than, let's say, $2,000, $3,000, $5,000 for their Christmas bonus or year-end bonus. And that was just a cap because to go from $5,000 to $6,000, they weren't any happier. They weren't any more gracious. And so there was this cap, and it just kept the bonus as an overall sum for the company a little bit more manageable because you didn't have somebody getting these extraordinary amounts. So if you put a cap and you put a bottom minimum, you find that usually everybody is gracious and happy for what it is they received based on however it is you're choosing to calculate it based on tenure and so forth. So there's just a few suggestions to help you with this meeting. So let me just kind of recap real quickly the state of the company. It's usually done at the very end of the year or at the beginning of a new year to simply document everything that's happened in the previous year and give some vision to everyone involved as to what they can expect in the new year. The easiest outline that I've found over the years is simply to take the time to document the challenges that the company faced in the previous year, what it was that the company had to work through that was unexpected and things that were hard. I've seen it include deaths of employees or early retirements of employees or the loss of some position. There's trials that come upon the business, and we want to just kind of give mention to those. With that, we've got people that, or not people, but rather things that went well. The successes, we want to definitely give the accolades where they're deserved and recognize those accomplishments, things that we didn't anticipate that worked out well for us. We rose to the occasion. We went above and beyond, and we want to give recognition to that. What's new? What came out of the year that we weren't expecting that we're now better for? We're now different. We do differently now. That right there, I think, is a great documentation of how the company's been able to evolve and adapt. And then you've got to share then the plans for the new year. Here's what we're going to be doing. And a great way to break that up is using the MAP acronym, marketing and sales. Here's what we're going to do to find and bring in new customers. The services, what are we going to be doing to maybe offer a new service, or we're going to increase our fees for these things. Let's announce that. And then production, here's training, here are things we're going to do to improve workflow. Here's a new software program we're going to all get trained on and use in the new year. And then with all of that, you want to then identify goals. Here's the timeline. Here's who's going to be involved. Who's going to lead this up. Here's what we're going to expect of each person involved. You're going to do this. We need you to do this each month. And with those clearly defined things, we're getting commitment and buy-in of everyone in attendance at the meeting. And then with that, I just shared with you a few final thoughts regarding gifts. It's great in this meeting, especially if you're doing a new branding and maybe a new product launch, that you can incorporate some swag, that you can give out some company gifts, give things that have the company logo on it that the people can appreciate, whether it be shirts or hats or sweaters or jackets or whatever. And then with regards to bonuses, shared some thoughts on how those can easily be calculated and distributed, and really give the person, you, deciding how to calculate and equally distribute this, if that's the right word, basically some ideas on how you can calculate them and do so, let's say, fairly, for lack of a better word. So with that in mind, I hope you found that this has been helpful for you to work on your business. As a business owner, one of the things that I find that is very important is you do need to find the time to literally work on your company, and in doing so, plan for the future. As part of this, Universal Accounting Center is giving as a special offer a copy of the book In the Black. It's a book that covers the 9 principles to make your business profitable. I encourage you to go to the episode description of this podcast episode and get a copy of the ebook In the Black to see what it is you can be doing to work on your company to ensure that you're being in the black, both with the short-term, mid-term, and long-term goals that you have within your company. Now, with that being said, I invite you to also go back and listen to our other episodes, and more importantly, subscribe to this podcast to build the premier accounting firm so as to have the tools, resources, and the suggestions you need to run your business more efficiently and effectively. I also encourage you, for more information regarding this and other principles, to reach out to us here at Universal Accounting Center. You can go to universalaccountingschool.com or give us a phone call, 801-265-3777. And always remember this, accounting success is universal. Do take care. Have a great day, and it was great having you on the show today. Bye-bye.